Good evening. Hello out there. Welcome. Hey, you guys, it's Patrice Washington. Let's make sure we are live everywhere. We're supposed to be live. Looks like we are. Okay. Hey, guys. Hello, hello. Good evening. I know on the East Coast it's so late. I rarely do things this late, but I am on the West Coast this week. I am filming season 2 of the PBS award winning show, Opportunity Knocks. And so grateful to be here. I have had a full few days. We have had a full day of filming today. But I wanted to make sure that you could get your questions answered about Pillar Mastery. So say hello, say good evening, come on in. Hey, Tanya, I see you. If you are checking in from Instagram, say hello so I know you can see me. Okay. All right, you guys. So I'm super excited to be here as always. And I want to answer your questions about Pillar Mastery. So please feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will make sure that I keep checking and going back and forth so I can get everyone. But let me first say, good evening. And I hope that you all are well. This has been quite the day, quite the adventure. I have been up and at it since about 5 a.m. And so I will not keep you long. I promise. I promise I'm not going to keep you long. I'm going to really try. So I'm going to dive in. And first of all, thank you. You guys are so sweet. I'm going to dive in first of all and just talk about what Pillar Mastery is. So, for those of you who have been around my world a bit, or you might be brand new to my world, again, my name is Patrice Washington, and I am the creator and founder of Redefining Wealth. Redefining Wealth started in 2017 as a podcast. But really, it was my expression as a financial expert in the marketplace, as someone who wanted to really help the masses go deeper with their idea of wealth building. What I know to be true is that the original definition of wealth was never about cars, houses, just money, and material possessions. The original definition of wealth is actually the condition of well being. Somebody say well being in the comments. So I need to make sure I'm in the right place, talking to the right people. Somebody say well being in the comments. It is so important for you to understand that if you truly want to build wealth and you want to build it your way, and you want to build it in a way that is sustainable, and you want to build it in a way that actually gets you to leaving lasting impact, you have to know that it's not just about, oh, I need a better job making more money. How many of you have prayed for better jobs? You've prayed for raises, prayed for raises, excuse me, prayed for promotions, prayed to launch the business, and still something has been off. You still haven't been able to quite feel the fulfillment and the joy, the peace, the contentment. And if you have, not for a lasting period of time. Many of us did what they told us to do. They told us to go to school, get good grades, get a job, and we should be fine. And if you are a day over about 19 years old, you already know that that recipe is two plus two is not adding up. Somebody say in the chat, it's not adding up. You already know that that's not quite adding up. And if you're like most of the brilliant people that I have served over the years, it is so frustrating to keep going to and fro, doing all the things under the sun, and then still not quite feeling a sense of fulfillment and that well being that wealth is supposed to be. So, since 2017, even though I have been known well before as America's money maven, as a finance expert, as all the things, in 2017, when I launched the Redefining Wealth podcast, I founded it on what I refer to as the 6 pillars of wealth. It has been founded on the 6 pillars of wealth. And for years now, I have been teaching from this. The podcast has been based on this. I've been on stages in front of this point on television, millions of people, and then on physical stages, sometimes up to 10,000 people. And then in my own programs, working intimately with people who identify as women in particular, I've been working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women. And here's what I can tell you. It does not matter what you continue to chase in terms of business success. Even if you say, but coach, I'm chasing my purpose. Doesn't matter what you continue to chase in terms of purpose, finance, career. There are parts of your life, the other parts of your life that you are not well in. And I refer to these as the pillars. These are the other parts of your life that are impacting your finances, even when you're not thinking about it. These are the things that are subconsciously running the show and making decisions, even when you're consciously not thinking about it. And so it is imperative that you get a grip on these other pillars. That is what pillar mastery is about. Pillar mastery is about finally you being still enough, right? To awaken. Awaken means to arise from slumber, to get off autopilot, to get out of the routine and the cycle that you are in, and to finally address maybe some things that you don't even realize are impacting your finances because it's in a different pillar and you're not making the connection. My job, my role as your coach is to help you make the connection. You think it's about one thing. You think it's about money. You think it's just about that job. You think it's about not knowing how to market your business. And the reality is, what is keeping you stuck is probably in a completely different pillar. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard the way you do one thing is how you do everything. We don't always make the connection though. And one of the things that I'm gifted at is a part of my God-given gift and talent is to help you make the connection and to see the missing links and the gaps where you may be self-sabotaging and causing yourself to stay in these loops, in these patterns, in these habits that do not serve you. The only way that I can help you redefine wealth is to awaken you to some stuff that's not serving you and then give you the tools to redefine, but then give you a game plan and a community where you can actualize. That means walk it out and see it into reality, right? Does that make sense? So we have to awaken before we can redefine. And once we redefine wealth, then we have to actualize. We have to get the tools, the scripts, the guts to go out and do the things. That's what pillar mastery is about, right? And so I've been walking people through the pillars for quite some time now, but pillar mastery, I just found it in 2023, and it was the biggest blessing that I could have done was give back the gift of being able to help you see the gaps for yourself so that you can actually move forward powerfully in the way that you say you desire. Right? So that's pillar mastery. So what does mastering the pillars means? It simply means getting to know yourself. Some of us don't stop long enough to ask ourselves any questions. I believe that the results in your life are a byproduct of the questions you're willing to ask yourself, the questions that you're really willing to go deeply with. Some of us just don't ask ourselves the questions, and I understand we don't know what we don't know. That is the point of coaching. That is the point of community. It is to drop yourself in spaces where the language alone forces you, pushes you, lifts you up so that you can think differently, so that you can get off autopilot, and so that you can wake up and go, wait a minute, why have I been allowing this thing? Or why have I been in this same place? Or what is the connection between these things? Mastering the pillars means you're going to awaken to what you have been normalizing, what you have been romanticizing, right? Because we love to romanticize some dysfunction, baby. We love to normalize. Some of us love to intellectualize, but we don't really make the connection between how it is really impacting us deeply, like on the inside, and how that affects everything else. And so it's based on the 6 pillars of wealth. This is what we say the healing, where the healing happens. So we're going to explore 6 different areas of your life. The first is the fit pillar. We say this is about becoming your best self. Where are you mentally and physically? There is quite a few things we need to go through there. The people pillar is about creating relationships that matter. A lot of times I will tell clients, you don't have a budgeting problem at all, but it's not the money budget, it's your energy budget, as Tony Jones says. It's the energy budget. You are managing a lot of energy that does not belong to you. And you probably need some tools and some scripts, a little role playing to help you navigate some of the conversations that are uncomfortable for you, but are necessary for you to have. Then we go into space pillar. It's about setting up your life to support you in every way, whether that's time management or your physical space, all of those things. We have no idea many times the impact that our space pillar is having on our ability to do the things we say we want to do. The faith pillar is about believing in something greater. What I love most about what Pillar Mastery has exposed is that this is really not about what you necessarily say you believe in, but it is about making sure that you have a process for how you process. I do believe that the resilience that I've had in my own life over and over again comes from the fact that I have a faith practice, not a faith practice that I talk about. Let me sip some water. Not a faith practice in name, but actually in practice. Because some of us like to call ourselves certain labels or call ourselves certain things, but then we don't know how to call on it when we're actually in the midst of something. Many of you don't have the problems you think you have. You have a faith problem. Steve Harvey taught me well before I was on the Steve Harvey show. I actually was an intern with Steve Harvey way back in the day. And he taught me that you don't get what you want, you get what you believe. And a lot of us, we're struggling with our belief. We don't believe the business is going to work. We don't believe that we can ever actually be out of debt. We don't believe that we deserve a certain type of success. We don't believe that we're worthy. Some of us, you don't even believe that you could be successful and the people that you say you love will be happy for you. Some of you continue to play small because of the faith pillar and the people pillar. And you think going to get another certification is the thing. That's not the thing. You got some other stuff going on that needs to be addressed. And that's the type of stuff that we pull out in coaching, right? Work pillar is about living your life's purpose. I truly believe that when we're not in a space where we are being purposeful, unfortunately, it creates a void. That void gets bigger and bigger. And what do? We try to fill the void with buying people or buying things. So people pillar in a shambles, money pillar in a shambles. Ultimately, not being well and let me say this, not being well in this season, this version of your life. Some of the things, some of the habits, some of the practices that you've had were well for you in a former season. And you are still trying to hold on to old mindsets, beliefs, behaviors, people, environments that may have served you in one season. They will not support you in getting to your next level of purpose. This is why you feel stuck. There are some things that are going to have to be released, right? There are some things that may need to be refreshed, and there are some things that need to be added in order for you to truly go to your next level. And that's a part of what we explore. But ultimately, I won't say a lot of the friction that you have in most of these pillars is what prevents you from seeing the financial success you desire. Okay. So we do the work through the 6 pillars. That's what we spend our time going through over the 12 weeks. Not only me teaching and coaching, but also you having time to integrate, which is a big piece. So who exactly is this for? Let me be very clear. Pillar mastery is not about what you do. So I keep getting the DMs. Is this just for entrepreneurs? I'll tell you that Pillar Mastery was born from the fact that I kept doing 2 very powerful, transformative programs in the business space. One was called Purpose the Platform. The other was called Command the Stage. It's a speaker training where I teach people how to become more bold, more magnetic, more confident. I was teaching them to get to their defining moment in their stories that launched who they are and what they want to do in the marketplace. Now, my heart would break seeing people have these huge ahas. They are crushing these stories. They are feeling more confident, more powerful to get out there and to do their thing. And then I would watch and check in and get DMs from people, and I would see absolutely brilliant, capable, worthy, more than enough, like more than enough people go, well, I went through this thing and life happened. And so it kind of knocked me off. My confidence got thrown off. My imposter syndrome started to creep up. I had people who didn't support me around me. All these other things. What have I told you guys? It's never about the work pillar. Fit, faith, space, people, not being clear about what's going on in those pillars are going to sabotage your efforts, career wise and financially every single time. It does not make sense to keep going to business programs to learn more about marketing techniques that you don't have the guts yet to go out and employ, right? You don't have the guts yet to go do it. That's not because you don't know what to do. There's something else going on that is cluttering you, that is keeping you stuck, that is keeping you still. You can know, knowing what to do and then not being able to go do it is one of the most frustrating things in the world. Am I right? Do you look at things and go, I know exactly what to do? And some of you are going, well, I don't know what to do. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. You know what to do. You don't have the guts to do it yet. And this is where we have to stop rationing out lies. This is where we have to stop normalizing. Oh, well, everybody is this, everybody is that. That's not true. You're throwing out those gross generalizations because you don't really want to deal with you. It's not that you're not clear, it's that you don't have the mental capacity yet. Maybe you don't have the people capacity. Maybe you don't have the space capacity yet to go do the thing. It's not true that you're so confused. What I love most about Pillar Mastery is the clarity that comes when people start to clear that clutter. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, this has been in front of me the whole time. Yeah, yeah. The answers have always been there, but you can't see them when you're too busy trying to take care of people and be their savior instead of saving yourself. You can't see the answers when you're so fatigued, you're so tired. There's so much going on in your body and your mind and your spirit and your soul that you just don't have the bandwidth to go do. It's not that it's not there. Life is always speaking to you. I believe God is always speaking to you. There's always things that are bringing you answers and clarity. But when you are gripped with fear, when you're gripped with uncertainty, when you are trapped in relationships and spaces that don't serve you, when you're in work environments where you don't feel like you can truly use your voice and speak up, when you're not being honored, like there's so many other things that are going on, you guys, that you have to acknowledge. Stop beating yourself up. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that, oh, I'm a procrastinator. It's not, oh, there's something wrong with me. And it's definitely not, oh, I should just be grateful. I made it here and I need to just sit here. It's not that. There are other things going on in your life that need to be addressed. And I'm not saying that coming through Pillar Mastery, you're going to run out and have all of these, conversations up front. Sometimes you need a safe space, though, to process this stuff and give voice to your truth, even if it's in the safety of our intimate space, because it's the truth that'll set you free. And some of you are not in a space and haven't been in a space where you could just freaking be honest, where you could be affirmed that you're not alone, where you can lock arms with other people who will encourage you and you turn around and encourage them to go say the things and to go do the things. It's not that you're not clear. It's not that I don't know what to do. You've used I don't know what to do long enough. Let me show you what women who have come through Pillar Mastery have said. These are actual words of folks who have come through Pillar Mastery, and these are the things that they said. I've been going through life like it's Groundhog's Day. How many of you identify with that? You have been on repeat and rinse in your life. Repeat and rinse. You've been talking about the same things year after year after year. Women that I've worked with in Pillar Mastery, Mastery Momentum, it has been so powerful to see people go from, I've been talking about wanting to do this thing for several years. And then they get it done in 3 months. They get it done in 6 months. It wasn't about another business course. It was just about giving themselves permission and seeing, why do I keep doing that thing? right? Why do I keep allowing these circumstances? And when they took control of that, everything else started to fall into place, right? Here's another one. I thought the problem was working for someone else, and the same problems followed me into entrepreneurship. Who is that? Oh, if I just get a new job, if I start this business. How many of you have started businesses and you're in the same pattern? Some of you bring the same dysfunction, the same thing that you were experiencing in the job. Oh, these people, they're doing this and they're doing that and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. You're bringing that into entrepreneurship. You're bringing that same thing, that same mindset, that same mentality. I'm tired of these people running me in the ground. Then you come into entrepreneurship and run yourself in the ground. They didn't treat me as worthy. Then you come into entrepreneurship and you play around with these clients and then you don't treat yourself as worthy. Okay, well, we need to get to the root of that because it wasn't the job. It wasn't the boss. It wasn't just that company. And I'm not negating the fact that there are toxic workplaces and environments and all those things. But we always have to be honest about what we also contribute. And if you want to get off autopilot and redefine what this can look like for you, then we have to start with you, not the workplace, right? There are people who came into Pillar Mastery, I feel a shift to go higher. They just didn't even know what it was, but they knew that their purpose was calling them to the next level, but that they were going to have to do something in them if it was going to be as powerful as they saw, right? What about this one? I made it, and I'm still not fulfilled. Who is that? I know that's someone here. You got the office, you got the marriage, you got the 2.5 kids, you have the white picket fence, you have the title, you have the label, maybe you have the beautiful parking spot, right? I know there's some folks checking in from LinkedIn here. Listen, you may have hit all the things, and still there's something that's saying there's more, and you don't even know how to see it. And sometimes we feel guilty. What more could I want? Whatever your soul is calling you to. What more can I ask for? There is nothing wrong with being grateful for where you are and still giving yourself permission to do the more that is calling you. We don't have to make that a bad thing. Oh, there's people that don't have jobs. This is true. And we definitely care. But what's wrong with also caring for the fact that I feel like I'm supposed to do something else? Sometimes you need to get out of the way and free up that space so the person who needs your job can have it. Some folk can't get a job till you get out the way. You holding on to something that's not even yours anymore. If you care that much, you might be taking up somebody else's spot because you're being dishonest and disobedient. It's time for you to let go and go do something else. And you're just so wound up, holding on to it. Who knows, right? What else have we heard? Oh, this one was, whew. If I only had a year to live, would I still be playing this small? If I only had a year to live, would I still be playing this small? This was powerful. This was powerful. If this was it, would you not want to give yourself the opportunity to try the thing, to say the things that you need to say, to have the conversations that you need to have, to experience the things that you have desired experiencing? If you only had a year to live, that really hit me, right? What else do I see? I take care of everyone else and consistently forget about myself. Doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter if you work full time, if you have a side hustle you're building, if you are a full time caregiver, parent. If any of this is resonating with you, then Pillar Mastery is for you. Because doing the deep introspection into each one of the pillars and using the pillars as a framework, so powerful, because there's so many things in our life that we're just so used to, we normalize, it just slides under the radar, but it's the very thing that is preventing us from really stepping into the lives that we deserve, right? So that's about who it's for. Here's also a lot of messages that we've received. I think I'll do this after. Can I tell you how counterproductive that is? And I'm gonna keep it so real with you. Like I just said about people who come through Purpose to Platform, or Command the Stage, the business programs I would teach. I wish that I had Pillar Mastery first. I wish I would have made it a prerequisite before people start stepping into these business programs that they went through Pillar Mastery. I wish I could have done it in that order, because then everything that you did in the business program would actually have an opportunity to stick. Some of you don't need another business program. You could come into Pillar Mastery, get clear on this, and then double back and go back to what you've already invested in. That's the truth. Because you may not have been clear or well enough in some of these pillars to really see the fullness of what you had. It wasn't that the business program wasn't great. It wasn't that it didn't have the right resources, the tools, all the things. Sometimes we have to be honest and say, I wasn't ready. Somebody just put it in the chat if you know what I mean. You have to just say, I know I enrolled in that. I got excited. It was a shiny thing, but I wasn't ready. A lot of what we need to do, you guys, in order for you to grow your personal finances, your business, all the things that you say, that's personal development first and foremost. You need personal development. And I'm just going to add spiritual growth because that's a part of how I approach everything that I do. Personal development and spiritual growth are the secret sauce to you actually being able to finally walk out the things you've already invested in. That is the truth. They was teaching good. You wasn't ready. Now somebody's going to say, no, they wasn't. Okay, I don't know what programs you did. But I used to tell my clients, I remember Nicole Roan. She's our capacity coach now in Mastery Momentum, my mastermind. Nicole was in Purpose to Platform and Command the Stage. And I remember doing Purpose to Platform. I would tell Nicole something on a coaching call one week, and then she would come back the next week and ask me the same question in a different way. Let me tell y'all how I used to do, Nicole. And for those of you who know, I used to go look in the camera. Didn't I tell you that? Now I know I told her this, and I would say, didn't we have this conversation? You think I don't remember? One thing about me, my programs are intimate, so I remember. I'm like, didn't I say this? And I said, this is not about you not understanding what I said. This is you trying to get me to tell you something easier or to give you something so you can backpedal out of it, because something else is going on that is preventing you from being able to just apply the advice you already received. That's really what's happening, right? And I can't tell you how often in these programs I have to lean in. What, man, my little Zoom used to get all the work. My Zoom camera used to get all the work because I knew, right? So if you're saying, I think I'll do this after, that's counterproductive. You probably, if you've already been someone who's done some type of coaching, business, all that stuff, you probably just need this to help you finally apply it. That's what I genuinely believe. There are other things that are going on in other parts of your life that are keeping you from just applying what you already know. That's the truth. So what is the actual process? So let me take you through this step by step. So when you come into Pillar Mastery, here's what happens. You're going to come in. First of all, you're going to sign an agreement. Pillar Mastery is so intimate, and we get so vulnerable and so transparent, including myself, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to make true progress, right? And is to really trust the process. So first of all, you come in, you sign your agreement, and then you do the getting started work. One of the bonuses that comes with Pillar Mastery is that you will be in the Institute for Redefining Wealth. And so for that membership community, I've already created a getting started. It's going to help you lay out, what is your actual dream in this season? What is your 12-month vision? Where do you want to see your life go? It'll walk you through what are some things that are just not working for you anymore, and where would you like to see it go? I take you through my process for goal setting, all of those things. You'll take the Redefining Wealth quiz so you know which pillar is the one you really need to lean into in this season. And there's several videos. That's all the getting started work. So if you were to join tonight, before we start on March 27th, for these next 7 days, you would be able to start doing that work so that you have a framework, right? An idea of what working through these pillars is going to lead you towards. And then we begin the work, right? This becomes a reality through several different spaces. First thing is, I am the person coaching. I am the coach. Okay. So there are week one, I'll give you an example. This is what I call uh, the implementation. I'm sorry, immersion week. Now, remember, I told you guys I've been up since 5. I was filming all day. Okay, so it's content immersion. So you get access to, for example, the Fit Pillar module. All of the modules for each one of the pillars are under 15 minutes. So this is not on and on and on and on and on. It's 15 minutes or less. And what it's going to do is teach you the connection between that pillar and your finances or your business. So if you are seeing any struggles in that particular pillar, how it manifests in preventing you from doing the things you want to do in your finances or your business. So you get access to that module, and then you'll do a live session with me on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to go deeper, content immersion. So content immersion is I give you more examples, and then we do a co-created conversation. So I kick you off, and then we have multiple voices, your voices, where you are sharing where you are, what's working, what's not working. And I am doing real-time spotlight coaching. So for those of you who keep asking, am I really the coach? Am I really showing up? Yes, it's me. I have to be able to talk to you and hear your stories and ask you clarifying questions. And we have to be able to go back and forth so I can help you dial in and pinpoint what the heck is going on. You're going to have ahas just from listening to me coach other people, but I will be there and available to coach you as well. Those calls last from 1 to 2 hours. It depends on what your soul needs in that moment. It depends on how many people come, because this is an intimate space, right? So that's what we start the week with. Now, why I expanded Pillar Mastery from 6 weeks to 12 weeks is because I wanted to give you integration time. So on week 2, you would be going through the integration period for the Fit Pillar, right? And on the pillarmastery.com page, you see the full timeline. And I wanted you to be really clear about what this is. Every other week, there are 6 content immersion calls with me where I am coaching you through how that particular pillar and where you may be stuck is keeping you from the finances or the business that you say you desire. And then you have integration time. So for nearly 2 weeks, you will be able to meet with my pillar ambassadors. These are graduates of Pillar Mastery and Mastery and Momentum who live by the pillars now. They understand the success, or they've had their own success and understand how these pillars have supported them. And they are coming back to this cohort of Pillar Mastery to support you. So they will run integration rooms. And so there's 5 opportunities between those 2 weeks for you to be able to jump into an integration room and get the support of a pillar ambassador and your cohort and say, hey, I went through all of the lessons. So in each module, there's also these lessons and suggestions and a checklist of things that you can do to improve that pillar. You get to look at that, right? And say, which of these do I have in place and what do I not have in place and what do I want to try? Once you start trying it, I don't know, this has been difficult, whatever comes up for you, the pillar ambassadors host those rooms. Again, there's 5 of them. So we have them set up so whether it's a morning session, an afternoon session, evening session, or a weekend session, you can be Am I back now, you guys? Can you hear me? I don't know what happened. It just starts swirling in my back. Can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, say I can hear you so that I can keep going. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. I don't know what happened there. All right, but I'm back. Okay. So hopefully you got that. Hopefully you got that. Okay. So there's 6 weeks of immersion coaching and co-created conversations where I'm actually coaching you. And then there's the 6 weeks of integration sessions with the ambassadors. Now I saw someone ask in the comments, what's the difference between this and the Institute? If you are currently in the Institute, you got access to Pillar Foundations as a bonus. Everyone coming into the Institute does not get that. So by virtue of you asking that question, I know that you were a founding member, but remember, founding members got access to Pillar Foundations as a bonus. Now, what is the difference? I am not doing content immersion with you. I am not doing spotlight coaching. I am not working with you in a closer capacity if you are in the Institute. The Institute is a wonderful place. I love it as a membership, and you guys do get the monthly Q&A that we do for the entire group. But in the Institute, that will be hundreds, and by the end of this year, over 1,000 people. Pillar Mastery is intimate. And Pillar Mastery is where, I have an opportunity to actually work with you and work through whatever you're working through in the pillars. So I would say that's the difference. Okay, that's the biggest difference. But if you're in the Institute, woo woo, what's up, Purpose Chaser? I'm so glad you're here. But Pillar Mastery is the next level. Pillar Mastery is where we go deeper. Pillar Mastery is where I actually get to coach you. It is impossible for me to coach hundreds of people in such a deep way because this is the stuff that takes time. So Pillar Mastery and Mastery Momentum are programs that are intentionally designed to be smaller so that we can go deeper. There's no way for me to go deeper in the Institute. So I hope that that makes sense and clears that up for you. So 12 weeks altogether. You're with me 1 week where I am coaching you. I am helping you make the connection and the distinctions. I am asking you the deeper questions. I'm listening to what you're saying and what you're not saying. Of it is I'm going to force you to talk and to pull it out. It is not something where you get to just get lost in the sauce. There's just not enough people. Hundreds of people on a Q&A. If you want to ask a question, you can, and I'm definitely going to do my best to answer. But in these types of sessions, this is what a co-created conversation is. Because it's so intimate, we can all lend our voice. We can all share where we are. And if we need to go deeper, I can put us in breakout groups and really allow you to be supported. It just depends on what we need for that week, but that's the big difference, right? And then, of course, you get 12 months of implementation. So this is where the Institute comes into place. I give you access to the Institute as a bonus because in 12 weeks, you're going to have a lot of discovery. You're going to awaken, and we're going to start redefining what this looks like for you. But you still need time to integrate and to actualize. And so I give you 12 months so you still have access to Pillar Foundations, essentially, and to the Institute. Okay, so you have a full 12 months. It's just that the 12 weeks in Pillar Mastery is like the accelerator. This is where people make big progress in a shorter period of time. We can get to your goals sooner, quicker, faster because we're intentional and it's very dialed in and it's laser, right? So what is the time commitment though for Pillar Mastery? I would say 1 to 2 hours per week. First of all, when you are coaching with me, it's probably going to be closer to the 2 hours. And that's because, like I just said, it is an opportunity to have all of the voices in the space heard. I need you to be seen and heard in this space. I need this to be a place where you can take up space and where we're not rushing through. One thing that my clients will tell you about me, and this might be to a fault, I'm not going to lie, this might be to a fault. If I feel that I need to go deeper with people, I'm not going to look at my watch unless I have a flight to catch. I'm not going to look at my watch and be like, well, that's 59 minutes. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. That's just not the type of coach I am. And sometimes it's to my own detriment. I wish, I wish I was the person that was just like, okay, we're in and out. that is not my heart. It's not my spirit. It's not who I am. I leave when the space is complete. So you are always free to definitely go do the things that you need to do. Dimitri said, no, she won't. I mean, Dimitri, pray for me. I need to do better, I'm sure. But this is who I am. And I won't even say that. I say that in jest. I'm okay with this is that this is who I am. This is how I serve. This is I love what I do. I love to see the ahas. I love to guide people to breakthroughs. I love to agitate you. I'm not going to lie. I always say I'm not the coach that's here to coddle you and to make you feel like things that are not okay are okay. But I'm never going to tell you anything. I'm going to like guide you to the answer. And sometimes that can happen in 3 minutes, and sometimes it needs 10 minutes, and sometimes it needs 15 minutes. But I guarantee that just by being in the space, you are going to learn and unpack some things for yourself in watching other people get coached. But I would say the commitment is 1 to 2 hours. Now, if you can't be there for the entire time, everything is always recorded. We will put the recordings in our Pillar Mastery space that we have on the Redefining Wealth. Guys, hear me? Am I back now? Oh, it's a little force that just don't want us to be great tonight. Now, why would this hotel have internet problems out of the blue? Anywho, so as I was saying, if you can't be there, you can always submit your questions and I will answer them. And then also remember the replays are always available. What I love about the how we do our replays is that you can search, right? There's a little magnifying glass where you can search for your name, even if you're not there. And if I answered your question, you can search for your name. It'll take you directly to that spot even though it's a hour or 2 hour replay. I love that about our replays in particular for content immersion. So we don't do replays of the integration rooms because those are much smaller, they're much more intimate, and really only the people who were there need it, right? When you're in the integration rooms, but you will get replays of content immersion, any guest expert trainings we might want to do. If there's any bonuses, you'll always get replays and you'll always be able to search the replays for what's relevant to you. So if you had to jump off and Demetria, you were there and you had to jump off or something like that, you could search Demetria and it'll take you directly to where I said Demetria in the video. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty efficient and you'll always be able to get back, right? And get your questions answered. It's about 1 to 2 hours. I think that you will get out of it what you put into it. 1 to 2 hours every other week for 12 weeks. I mean, we spend more time doing things that we shouldn't be doing. We spend more times and wasting time going back and forth because we have no conviction. We can't make decisions with confidence. We spend more time trying to prove ourselves to people instead of knowing that we are affirmed and validated just because. We spend more time doing other things all the time. Some of you spend more time watching Love is Blind. So when you keep asking me, well, what's the time? You made time to binge Love is Blind. You make time to binge Love is Blind. You make time to binge things on Netflix. All of a sudden you have time. But then when it comes time to work on you and to work on your goals and to work on your vision and to work on the things that you say, all of a sudden time is the question. I don't know. It seems suspicious. It seems suspicious. Hey, Stephen Hart, what's up? This is from Trailblazers Podcast. Whatever Patrice is offering, take it. I spent 2 years in a mastermind and never had she shared a thought that wasn't a word. Oh, I love you. Thank you, Stephen. It's so good to see you. We haven't talked in too long. We got to catch up. Yes. So here's the next question. I'm almost done, you guys. Will I get lost in a big group? Who said that this was big? I think sometimes because of the platform, because you guys hear, oh, 17 million podcast downloads, or, whatever stats, whatever you associate, with my bio. I think that you guys make the assumption that I like to do things where we are just, bringing in big groups of people. Like I said just a few seconds ago, I happen to be one of those people. And again, sometimes this is not to my benefit. I'm gonna keep it real. I wish I was like some of my girlfriends who are in personal development, who are in this space. Sometimes I do, but I truly personally prefer intimacy. That is just who I am. I prefer intimacy. People think I'm, what do you call it? A extrovert, more of an extrovert because of what I do professionally. I'm actually the opposite. I'm actually more introverted than you guys probably know. I don't like to have surface level conversation and talk to people just because. I'm one of those people who thrives when I can go deeper with fewer people. I'm like that in my real life, and I'm like that in my work. I prefer to go deeper with fewer people. Now, the Institute, because of the Institute, we are getting, right, more and more people. And I do want to have a bigger impact and reach more people. But when it comes to being in an intimate space with me, where I'm coaching you and we're really getting to know one another, I prefer smaller groups. Now, I prefer groups still over one on one, because sometimes you need to hear the questions and have the connection with other people who are like hearted, who are going in the same direction. So you're going to get a lot from me as your coach, but you're going to get even more from the people who are in the community with you. Happens every single time. People have found their best friends there, right? They have found business partners in these smaller groups. Like, I love the intimacy of the smaller groups. This is why I can speak so confidently when I talk about, a lot of the transformations, or when I talk to my clients, or people are checking in with me, because I know the stories. I remember the stories. I remember a lot of the things that I said, and Lord knows I can't remember what I ate for lunch today, but it's something about coaching and helping people transform, and knowing that they went from not believing they could do something to believing it. Like, that only happens for me in an intimate space. So I believe this round of Pillar Mastery will have 25 or so people. We have about 7, 8 more to get to that, but it'll be about 25 people. So when you say, will I get lost in a big group? Maybe you want to get lost. Maybe you like to be lost and you want to hide out. It'll be a little hard to hide out in this space, because we're gonna be looking for you. Like, hey, what's going on? Where you been? What's happening? We need a little check-in, right? So it's not that it's a huge space. So you're talking about 25 to 30 people. So will you get lost? I don't think so. The only way you'll get lost is if you desire to get lost. Again, is this just pre-recorded videos? There are pre-recorded videos for each one of the modules when you first get started. But I'm really coaching. I'm 100% coaching you directly, and I'm coaching you in multiple ways. So again, not just the content immersion. Because you have access to the Institute, I'm also leading the monthly Q&As there as well. And then, like I said, it's not a huge group. Now that we have the Redefining Wealth app, you can tag me. I answer people all the time. Now, you can't tag me and expect an answer in 2 seconds. So be easy. But you can tag me, you can ask me questions. I am now more in my app outside of this, week of filming. I'm usually more in my app than you will find me on Instagram or any other social media platform. That's where I feel safe. I think that's where a lot of us who are coming into this community feel safe. There's so much noise out in all the other spaces. And so it's easier for me to see what your questions are, and you tagging me. So you can ask me questions in between the time. You don't have to wait for a content immersion. And because I'm getting to know you on those calls as you're implementing things, you know, Savidra the Seer says it's a very snazzy app. Yeah, it's really nice. I'm really excited about how we're going to continue to grow it, and how we're using it. And so, yeah, you can get to me fairly easily if you are in Pillar Mastery. Some bonuses that you should be aware of. Dimitri says, so glad we have it. I know, I am too. So again, because of the Institute for Redefining Wealth, because that's a bonus that you get, as being a part of Pillar Mastery. You get another monthly Q&A with me outside of the 6 sessions. So really you're getting me live 9 times at the minimum. So yes, I'm the coach. We also just do a lot in the Institute. We have challenges, we have expert-led trainings. Right now we're in the Space Pillar Month. My very own personal organizer is going to be doing a special training for us in a couple weeks. So there, and that's on top of our guest expert trainings that we have every month. So there's a lot of value already just in the Institute. And the Institute is $497 a year. And you're getting that as a part of your Pillar Mastery enrollment for a year. There's tons of resources in there. You also get access to what we call the Vault, which is over 20 hours of master mentor sessions that we've recorded over the last few years with a lot of my good friends who will teach on everything from personal things to business. It's a really great compliment. We call that the Vault. And in the Institute, we have community members that are hosting pop-ups all over. So during your time in the Institute was really cool is I think we have the first 7 or 8. I believe Chicago is going to be one of the first cities, but we have folks that want to host pop-ups from LA to San Diego to Chicago to DC, and it's just for Institute members. So you'll have access to all of that. You can meet folks in real life. So those were the bonuses. I've been asked to break down bonuses. I'll add these as well. These bonuses, if you do the pay in full option for Pillar Mastery, you will get a general admission ticket to Redefining Wealth Live. It's happening in October of this year in Atlanta. We had our first one last year. It was absolutely incredible. And I'm so excited about all the things we're planning for this year. So if you pay in full for Pillar Mastery, you will automatically get a general admission ticket to Redefining Wealth Live. Super excited. If you don't do pay in full, don't worry about it. I got a little something for you too. Don't worry, we'll hook it up. But pay in full if you do, the complimentary general admission ticket if you do pay in full. And again, you get access to Pillar Foundations and the Vault. So what's the investment? All of this, 12 weeks of the accelerator, but really 12 months of support is a one-time payment of $24.97, or the most flexible, and the one we've seen a lot of people choosing, is 12 payments of $249. So either $24.97, or you can get started with us this week before we close the doors on Sunday for $249. There is no prepayment penalty. So typically what happens is, just to secure your seat, because I'm only running this now for 2024, just to secure your seat and your place in Pillar Mastery, you can start with $249. If in a few weeks, if in a few months, you're like, oh, I'm ready to pay that thing off, which I think the number is something like 67 or 69% of people who do payment plans with us do pay it off early. This is historically, this is from my other programs to present day. People pay it off early. So we always help figure out what the interest is we need to take off. My team will help you figure that out. You just reach out and say, hey, I'm ready to pay off. They'll tell you what that number is, and then you can save on the interest that way. So if you just want to come in and start at $249 and you're like, oh, I just need until whatever, I need to do this first, then that's an option. And that's why we make it available. The first 2 cohorts of Pillar Mastery did not have this type of payment plan option available to them. So for those of you who went through those, don't be mad. Now that we are really shoring this thing up, and I'm really wanting to see more people go through Pillar Mastery. I genuinely wanted to make it more affordable and more accessible. And so for some of you, I hope that does the trick. I would love for you to come in and to be supported through Pillar Mastery. So you can see more at pillarmastery.com. As I leave you, I can't believe I did this in under an hour. Praise him, because y'all know Coach be going long. I just want to remind you, if you joined us kind of late, Pillar Mastery is not for people who are entrepreneurs. Pillar Mastery is not just for people who have a 9-to-5. I've gotten so many different questions. Pillar Mastery is about, where are you in your life right now? If you feel like you are being called to go higher and something is keeping you stuck, Pillar Mastery is for you. If you have changed careers, had some type of big pivot, maybe you've moved, maybe you're an empty nester now, you've had some type of shift, right? And you thought that when you made the shift, everything was going to change. And you're realizing you still took you into that next season. You still took you. And all of these habits, rituals, routines, patterns, ideas, thoughts, indoctrinations some that serve you and many that don't. And you're seeing, man, what is wrong? Like, why do I keep doing this? Pillar mastery is for you. If you feel like you've been stuck on Groundhog's Day, you've been spinning the same block over and over and over again, and something just has to give, right? Pillar mastery is for you. You know what? There is I'm just searching for something. I wanted to read you guys something. It just came to my heart. I hope I can find it. If I can't find it, I'm gonna post it. I might read it in my stories. Because there is this poem. There's this poem that I used to share when I worked for a financial education nonprofit. It just dropped in my spirit. Somebody needs to hear this. There is this poem saying something about Groundhog's Day brought this up for me. And I know that we want things to change so badly. I know we're like, oh, 2024 is the year. And now it's almost the end of March. And you're like, dang, I'm in the same cycle. I'm having the same conversations. I'm in the same pattern. Let me read you this. This is a poem that I used to share with clients, and I'm talking 12 years ago, and I haven't shared it in a long time. It's by Portia Nelson. It's called I Walk Down the Street. Any of you guys ever heard this? Listen to this. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes me a long time to get out. I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. I walk down another street. I walk down another street. Pillar mastery is about getting you to the place where you can walk down another street. It's that simple. Until you start to take accountability and responsibility and look at yourself, until you allow yourself to get out of just self-awareness. Oh, I know the things. Some of us are so used to gaming our therapists. We can intellectualize everything. I know the things. You're very self-aware, and still you walk down the same street over and over and over again. Pillar mastery is about helping you walk down a new street. It's about helping you walk down a street that you have defined. Pillar mastery is about helping you walk down a street that you paved. It's about helping you walk down a street that is authentic to you. Many of us have been walking down the streets that somebody else paved for us. A lot of us have been walking down the street because our mama said, go that way. A lot of us have been walking down the street because we want people to see us on that street, even though that street doesn't make us happy. A lot of us have been walking down a street because somebody told us a long time ago that that was the only way. And your soul has been crying out. Your soul has been begging for you to do something different. And I don't care what industry you're in, what label you have, what you call yourself. If it doesn't feel good, if you're tired of falling in the hole, if you're tired of having the same conversations, if you're tired of being stuck financially, no matter how much money you make, if you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, Pillar Mastery is about clearing the clutter so you can see, so you can finally feel, so you get the guts to know who you are and what you want and what you desire and the ability to articulate that. And it's about helping you walk down a different street. That's what this is about. That just dropped in my spirit. I literally have not looked that poem up or shared it or read it to anyone in I don't know how many years, but somebody here needed to hear that. It's time for you to walk down a different street. And I believe Pillar Mastery is the way. That's what I genuinely believe. Whew. That's what I genuinely believe. It's not more business programs. More business programs don't help you walk down a different street, right? And some of you, you want to walk down a different street so badly, but I want you to be able to walk down that street confidently. I want you to be able to walk down that street with conviction. I don't want you to walk down that street feeling guilt, feeling shame, feeling embarrassment, putting your head down, unsure, uncertain. No, it's time to walk down the street and be bold. Have conviction. Know that you know, even when what you are choosing is unpopular, even when what you are choosing is unfamiliar, even when other people don't understand, even when other people don't agree. Can you walk down that street that you have paved with your head held high, very certain that you heard God for yourself? You don't need anyone else to interpret and tell you whether it's you heard for yourself. You know for yourself that my time is now. I'm being called to higher. There is just too much left for me to do, and I'm ready. That's what Pillar Mastery is. That's what it's about. I wish. Let me tell you something. I wish I could just keep doing purpose to platform because everybody wants business stuff. That was one of the easiest things I'd ever taught, I ever led. I built multiple businesses. I've built 7-figure businesses. I've done like so much in media, television, radio, podcasting, print, blogging. It's easier for me to do business. Trust me when I tell you, I would love to do that. But when I had to walk down a different street myself and use what I'm teaching you to get the guts to leave a relationship, a long-term relationship, a marriage that was not supporting me and that was not serving me, when I had to use these pillars to stop romanticizing and stop normalizing something that did not serve me, when I had to do all of the things, I'm not talking about what I think. I'm telling you what I know. And for me to be walking down a different street with more ease, more grace, more peace, with my head held high, even when people say, "Oh, you sure you want to be telling people that?" Pillar mastery was not years ago at all what I thought that I would be doing, but I believe that this is the work that needs to be done. And so when I have clients that didn't do the things that they learned in those programs because of imposter syndrome, because of wanting external validation, because of all these things, even though they know what to do, they didn't have the guts to do it. God said, and you're going to be the one. I said, but that's not popular. This is not what people want. He said, but this is what they need. And so I'm walking down a different street, and I am here to support you as you walk down a different street. So I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're called to do in this season. I don't know how this is going to uh, evolve your purpose and what you're doing in the world. But I do know that I am more than capable and ready to hold space for you if you are ready to change. If you're actually ready to walk down a different street, I'm more than ready. I'm more than excited to. I know that by the time we get to Redefining Wealth Live in October, I want to see more and more and more of you as purpose chasers. I want your lives to be barely recognizable. That's my heart. Woo! That's my heart. So if you are ready, I would love to serve you in Pillar Mastery. You can go to pillarmastery.com to learn more, to see more, to figure out, what option would work for you in this season. Again, we have, the payment plan option that we added this round, hopefully to be of support to you all. And whoever comes, whether there are the 15, 20, 25, 30, doesn't matter to me. I am so ready. I know that this is going to be extremely powerful and transformational. I know it. I feel it. I've already been praying for you. So whoever's assigned to me in this season and I'm assigned to you, I absolutely cannot wait to be your coach, to be your chief edge snatcher, to be of service to you and to see what we create. I know that your life will be barely recognizable if you trust the process and lean in and allow yourself to be supported. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I answered all the questions. I literally tried to go through every question I could find in the DMs and what my team sent me from the emails. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask here now. And I'll wait for a second just to be sure. I don't know if I can see any of the Instagram questions, but if you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, if you have a question, please feel free to ask. If not, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful evening. I hope to see you in Pillar Mastery. Can't wait to welcome you into that space. And your girl is tired. I know it's late on the East Coast, but like I said, was filming today for Opportunity Knocks, and I'll be filming tomorrow. Oh, that's such another blessing. If you've never seen Opportunity Knocks on PBS, please make sure you support and check it out. It's an absolutely incredible show. And this season is even better than last. So I can't wait for y'all to see it. Let's see. I didn't see any questions come in. Y'all are telling me to rest well. So I'm going to go get some rest. You guys be blessed. If you have questions, please feel free. If you're already in the Redefining Wealth app, shoot me a DM there. Or you can also shoot me one on Instagram. If you're on my email list, reply to one of the emails. My team or I will help you. We can't wait to serve you guys. Be blessed, and I will see you soon. Take care, you guys.